Good day. This is Regina's Rabbit Hole with Siren Buddh Medicine.
Buddh Medicine 7. Peace, family.
Much love to you and yours. And would you like to play a game? Today is mental health, the master key and the blueprint of societies. And speaking with wisdom was just saying,
mental health is definitely a condition, and today I'll probably be doing less listening and giving the information on what is mental health and the cause behind the condition.
Okay, so what I have is this, can you play the tape, please, Maestro? In the background, you'll be listening to something they call a biodome. Metrodome. And we're just going to be a little bit abstract here as I read this definition from psychology to therapy is based on classical conditioning. Classical conditioning is the learning of involuntary response by pairing a stimulus that normally causes a particular response with a new neutral stimulus. After enough pairing, the new stimulus will also cause a response to occur. Did you hear that, y'all? And this is when it comes to classical conditioning, and this is psychology. This is a tool that's used in social engineering. What we're listening to in the background is called a metrodome. Metrodome, see, we're a part of the biodome. This is an electronic depiction that's occurring with these inanimate objects you hear in the background sinking. But we are part of the biodome, which means that all biology sinks, in which that's a part of the consciousness grid, that's a part of our mental health and overall well-being, a master key to societies, a blueprint of mental health that they don't talk to us about. And seeing how this is Regina's Rabbit Hole, Siren Buddh Medicine. With much love to you and yours, we're gonna play a little game to expose some of the ins and outs of it, just to bring it to light and pull it out of the dark. And so today's topic is mental health. And it's a lovely topic too, because Speaking with Wisdom actually works in the field of mental health and human services and helping in the community. And I also, one of the degrees that I am working with is psychology and behavioral modification that I'm getting over a period of time, taking my time with it. So, would you like to play a game? Yes, mental health is the game today. And it's on your floor.
Most clients that I have come in contact with, one of the biggest thing is mental health. But that condition is from my learning and doing evaluations and assessments. Clients seem to be damaged before they even hit the planet Earth. So that condition is a pre-existent existence before that child is reared. And fast forwarding, when I am sitting down, the damage comes from childbirth. Most times you damage the womb before it's born, and then when it gives birth, it's already damaged from the condition of what we're talking about today.
So basically, I'm with that. You talk about transference from the womb, and we do have topics about womb trauma and how that transitions. That's like a quantum thing, it transitions into mental health, generational. Now that was the metrodome that just stopped. So I hope it doesn't just put something else on.
You were about to watch, isn't it?
Okay. So I just wanted to play that. That's like noise in the background, wasn't it? Once it stopped. But it's there.
It's a condition.
Yes. And so that's something that's an energy that's actually there that sinks, that we're not taught to pay attention to. Why? What's our emotional currency?
Yes.
One of the things that have been utilized in our culture to be able to control people is the mental health. The whole system really needs an overall redefining of what that actually means. part of the reason is that with mental health comes information. The more information we have to be able to take care of our mental health, the more tools we have, right, to be able to utilize that capacity to think with clarity and to help each other. And then thinking of sociology, looking at this metrodome and how similar thought is what floats our cultures. And then I was looking at, and studying in psychology and human services, the DS5. Right. And so these are the classifications and stuff that they give people that you diagnose them with when you have a client and you see symptoms. There's a coded book that's called the DS5, which actually floats the economy too, because they have a big conference every so many years. Yeah, this summit. And you look into this, y'all. And they redefine and certain classifications within the DS5 and then redistribute it. And this changes medication protocols, things that the counselors or doctors are able to do or not to do, the diagnoses that they get. It changes things. As a matter of fact, that's one of the things that changed homosexuality from being listed as something that was a mental health issue to something that was not. It was declassified as a mental health situation. I forget in what year.
In the 70s, I believe 1973, they changed the DSM mental health, where homosexuality or those behaviors like-minded was mental health. They pulled that out. That was a condition. Free mind. I mean, we seemingly, when we look at minds are conditioned. If a human being is born perfect, where they can hear, see, smell, see, and touch, that cognitive part of their life, if it's damaged from when it's birth, it's damaged from life. That's why it's so important between the early years, between 1 and 5, that you condition. And so on today's earth, we see that the system, has already a design. We can say a pre-existing design. And once one psyche, when you're looking at what you're talking about with the psych 1, the psyche is to get into your mental health.
Could you tell us about a situation that may have occurred where there was a child that had some preconditioning from the you could see they were carrying trauma from the parent around with them, and they were in front of you with those diagnoses? Was there anything that you wanted that stuck out at you think that we need to know?
Well, I mean, I had a Caucasian woman who, child, I'll get into that, but more or less I dealt with a lot of the adults. And I'll use one was talking about they was molested from early childhood. And basically when you seen her, she was just wild and worried, really good person. But when we sat down and really talked, she said that she didn't like to be hypnotized, because when she was hypnotized, it would bring back all that trauma of the abuse that she was given to her, whether it be physically, mentally, spiritually, emotional. And she said, I can smell it, I can, you can see it. And I use that as a
trauma.
Yeah, one of the worst kind. And a person still has to live and survive with that. But that condition was basically for all people, even though in slavery, those who wasn't in slavery.
This is interesting. Now, in psychology, Dr. Jung used to talk about ancestral memory and how that holds an akash within our blood, within our unconscious mind, and that it plays a role in the way that we move about in society through our unconscious minds, through, the things that we do. And, I really was really into that at the time, just before I even got into what we call consciousness or any of the things that I know today that were far beyond that. It really settled with me. And when you talk about generational trauma and how the mother may have been trying to keep her children safe and downgrading them, no, he's not good. He's a menace. You don't want him. You don't want to eat me. You know what I'm saying? I don't taste good, master. You know, I'm all bony and scrawny. You want that little fat one over there. You know? Teaching us unconsciously to hate on one another and willingly misdirect, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something else off of ourselves until it's so embedded within our nature that it's become an unconscious part of the way we relate to one another.
It's funny with talking about condition. I also had a brother, young brother. He was 25, but he was talking about his uncle. He would come to me like, cold as the street, what's going on? But when I looked at it, I see that pain in his eyes. And being that he was vulnerable to me because I'm a counselor, and he just looked at me. He wanted to cry, but he was being a man about it. He didn't know that men can cry too and should cry. Crying is a part of laughter and everything else. It's a part of who we are.
Did he know that?
Of course. Huh?
Did he know that
Well,
before you told him?
No, he didn't. I mean, he didn't know, but he was able to see another brother, and he's like, my son, I'm looking at him, and I'm seeing his pain. He's like, my uncle was damaged me when I was young. And I was my brother, and he says, my mother never knew. And he says when he's with his girlfriend, making love and everything, it's awkward to him.
How did he feel after you told him that, that it was okay?
Well, you could see that side of relief. It was okay for right there, that instant gratification. Mm-hmm. It was there's like a get high. The stimulant, we was talking about stimulant, that stimulated him, but he needed something else. And that's the aftercare of the aftermath that happened to him. So, and closing on that, he said, my uncle coming down, he's married now with children. You understand what I'm saying? And he said, now his mother saying he got, I think it was Thanksgiving.
Undealt with trauma, and now he's married with children.
Well, the uncle was married with children. He got his girlfriend, but he's doing this. He's struggling. He's on methadone. He can't. You know what I'm saying? He's young.
In a family environment.
Yeah, I mean, doing what he's doing. He got issues with the girl, but the bottom line is he had to go and deal with that uncle who had molested him for years with the mother, and he never told his mother.
Right.
Mother don't know. So when he go there, he's like, "Come on, uncle, this right here," and he looking at his uncle and sit there, that conditioner.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
And he hasn't dealt with that trauma, and now his family is still interacting with this other individual.
Well, when you think about it, each culture...
That happens a lot around our culture.
Yeah, we don't have those psychologists.
American culture.
We don't have it seems we don't have the psychiatrists or the teachers that we need to really give us that stimulation that is missing. But we know the mental is the most important. You mess with our psyche and you control the people.
That's what I'm saying about the metrodome and about thinking and about the unconscious field that we're all a part of, and the generational, we can go into generational curses. Now, within the mental health, if part of it is to know, if you have more information that allows you to relax, you know what I'm saying, or guard yourself against certain things. But the not knowing puts us in a state of darkness or ignorance. And then you end up with a whole bunch of people you call niggers.
But isn't the not knowing just being curious?
Instead of nagas.
When you don't know something, you just become curious and you become unintelligent. No,
curiosity doesn't make you unintelligent.
No, I never said that. I said that when you don't know something, I don't know. Your mind starts to wonder. That's being curious. You wonder what the hell is up. Maybe some things you just need to leave alone. Because, curiosity killed the cat, right? But it never killed the human. It just demises the human. It takes the
That's
human
a bad
off.
example. Curiosity killed the cat, but the cat had 9 lives and wouldn't have known it had it not happened the first time.
Right here. I mean that's that's an argument.
Just being funny,
The theory, that's oxymoron. The theory of it, if it killed the cat, it never killed the human. It just seemed to mutate us. By man, like man. It's man versus man. It's not man versus nature. Nature's doing its thing. It's man versus man. Man think they're smarter than man. We take a whole lot of blah, blah, blah. We were leaders. We were there first. Now we last. So what are we really saying? What we should do is fall back and begin to learn and understand just the basics.
Well, this is the part that some people are doing right now. Those people who know are teaching others who don't know. And this is a part of the conscious grid that's also a part of that metro dome. What it is that when one person, just like those monkeys on the beach that washed off the fruit, and once they learned that technique, other monkeys that had nothing to do with them at all, that were on other beaches around the world, learned that same very thing because they were connected to this thing.
Beach, right?
Yes.
But the reason why, now this is another theory. The reason why, because what's on the beach? Sand. So anything kind of human is not going to be able to eat sand. They're going to have it in the waters right there. It's like almost common sense. Like if you look at the crow. When the crow wants to eat food, he's the only bird that can take like a walnut. He would take it, drop it out there, let a car run over it, and then you see come walking and eat it. They were the smartest birds. That is conditioning. Everything is a condition. If we are so bright, we can easily get out of this, but it's right in front of our face. We just don't see it. We're all around the corner in the matrix.
Web.
What we was just watching.
Metrodome.
That's where we are.
Mm-hmm.
So, listen, the next wave that comes, it's going to be a wave. Pay attention to it. You can actually record it. It's going to be something like, oh, we're going, and we swift just like the wave all day long. You have to be on it, and when you're on the wave, you have to understand it. And my knowledge on that is like somebody's on surfing, right? The beginner surfer always fall up with a skilled surfer. He's going to ride that wave, you know? And when he gets caught in that current, he know how to maneuver out of the wave, you know what I'm saying, and not get caught up in that current. If you look at this,
the current is a whole bunch of drops of water. That's the point, okay? That each one of us, like those metrodomes, is like a drop of water. And together we make a current. Is the water rough? Is the water smooth? Is it a tsunami? You know, is it just you can just float and glide? You know, is it stormy? Things like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the overall mood of society. Like right now, they done pumped it up, and you can feel the air is volatile. You can literally feel it. And that's a part of the energetic potential of the environment we live in. And that our emotional economy is volatile. It really, you know what I'm saying? Energy never dies. It only goes somewhere. It goes somewhere. If you shake up the kundalini, and you have a whole bunch of booty shaking and titties popping and gyrating and beats, things that stimulate the root chakra, things that stimulate the visuals in the eyes, then you're going to attune everything to that particular frequency. Just like the metrodomes. What I'm saying is there's sciences, and that there's certain things that are a natural part of the way that we work, a natural part of the way this world works, that are being used in a counterproductive way. And the reason why it can be done is because we just don't know it's there. To be able to take our own authority back over knowing that the things that we think is part of the magnetism, part of our mental health, not just as an individual, but as a society, to take control of that. Because by taking control of that, you become a different part of controlling that metrodome system. Because we're organic biodome. We're part of the biodome.
So what I got from watching that particular piece, and that's like you playing the kickboard, going back and forth, it was going all over the place. That's just like how we are now, and they're trying to get us in sequence, all into one thing. The
metrodome, right?
Right.
It's all frequency and vibration.
Right. Telepathic. You know, and before frequent vibration, if controlled, then you can communicate. It becomes telepathic. It's like the wise we see. But that's what we are. That's why we need to eat electric foods, alkaline foods,
right,
and such.
And meditate. I mean, it is really fascinating. Literally, they could put a signal in the air and jar people to do stuff unconsciously, and they won't even know why they're feeling certain ways or doing certain things. Remember when Prince was doing those videos about chemtrails years ago? Was it the 80s, 70s, 80s? And he said,
if you notice our people who have strong voices, that's how they get.
He said when they sprayed the chemtrails that people were getting angry and fighting and stuff in the city, and he noticed it as a child that whenever they started spraying, people around him would start arguing and getting irritated. He was like, what is this?
Well, isn't that a part?
It's a part of what they're doing. We went over this in previous things. The social engineering that they're doing, changing the using the chemtrails with the microfibers and the nanotechnology, and the vaccines, and the air literally has these nanotechnology fibers in it that we ingest. And when they it makes us more susceptible to 5G. So like robotic, you know what I'm saying? The smart meter. Notice how it can make you angry when it hits a certain frequency?
Once again, in observing, the mental health has got us because all of us on this planet right now, even to the Trump, to the lowest, to the high, and to the only thing that seems to be settled might be their ancestors and stuff like that. They can't really be too influenced, but we are influenced and controlled by an entity that we're still really trying to figure out. And now we let a machine come and dictate to our minds. If we made the machine, how can the machine be smarter? It just has more words. It takes one word, it can make 1,000 words. So we on that phone, any way you want, and we say so. I'm going to say one thing, and it gives me whatever I want in any kind of ways I want.
That's trauma.
And so that precondition is already done. So that which control or which has colonized that system, when we on the platform talking, they know everything. When they want, they have everything.
We're living in a world where we know that they are monitoring all your stuff. You don't know, you know what I mean? We're told that the TV is monitoring, our phone is monitoring, the Alexa is monitoring, the government's monitoring. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And this is a volatile, toxic mental health condition that we're in right now.
This is my thing right here, right? If we know that the TV could be looking at us, that they can be hearing us, we are so free to go on the media and then cry later, you know. They tell them they got listen right here.
We just turned on the TV and we're using the phone.
It's not. However,
it's a normal part of our conditioning to have Stockholm syndrome. Where are you going to go and what are you going to do?
That applies. Guess what? You know, funny thing, that applies not only to the people in captivity, but those who are not in captivity. They have Stockholm syndrome too, because the majority of those love the curiosity. We love that which we hate. We love to hate. We hate to love.
These are part of the conditions that we accept in our societies that make up the mental health and overall well-being or not well-being of the culture that we're in.
For me, I claim Yeshua. That's bottom line. And I don't really throw it out there like that because there's no sense in really throwing it out there because if the person don't understand, that's on them. You know, so the world that we're looking at now with information, think about how much information we're going to get. Oh, they said this. And tomorrow and the next 30 episodes that's coming in the future, whatever, it's going to be the same thing. Something new, another wave. Oh, I get it because it's a thought. But shouldn't a thought be like if you see something 30, I'll use an example. You see the Ford filthy. You know, you get information, you guys stack. When do you clean it up? How much information that you give that you don't give us a solution. Now, a brother that I'll be listening to, and I got to give him props, Dane Calloway. That young brother comes with some serious information. He don't only talk, he pulls it up. He lets you go right to it, you know. That's a young brother doing this thing. I gotta give him kudos. You know, I like his information, his content, and I'm over that young brother doing it. And he's not afraid. He's not afraid. And when he get it, he put all people up there, but he lets you know why. And he tells you where you can go and eat. He actually sends you there. I love that. I'm not seeing that with our people, you know. He's ready. He's making moves on things. If I'm going to give other people something that they cited, I'm going to give it to them, but I'm going to use it in our context to help our people. You know, and it's nothing personal because they do it, and we can all break bread.
That's part of your mental health, you know, and that's part of our mental health right now. Is you know, I noticed that all we wanted to do was just see ourselves, and that actually cost us without being aware that, okay, I just need to have this therapeutic moment where I just need to see my brown self somewhere. Everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I need to see my brown self in the White House, in the movie videos, in the movies.
Condition. We want that. Listen.
I want to see my brown self in the places that I long to see my little brown body, you know, when I was a child looking, and I long to see me do that and me be there and me have that. You know what I'm saying? And that's a part of the sway of the mental. Even if that wasn't good, I wanted to see me do that because that was a desire that's being used to sway society. In the same way, right? This is just part of our mental health. That how they're teaching us this and how we're accepting to live like this. That's a part of our sickness. Do you see how sick that is? As a norm. These are norms.
Well, that's what I went to my man, Cat. His name is Yor. Yuribunz. Yor. He has an excellent, and I kind of live that motto. Definitely should be taught because he talks about the subversion, and he talks about those 6 areas, and it's like Lord, and that is part of the people not understanding. But slowly, I see people are starting to come out with that.
And that's what new information changes the structure of how we all interact with one another.
Yes, absolutely. And basically what it is it's subversion and it's finance. And there's 6 areas of that. And the areas how we're dealing with right now. 1 is religion, 2 is education, 3 is social life, 4 is our power structure, 5 the label relationships, and law and order. They're killing us on that. Those are subversions, and there are 4 stages in demoralizing us as a whole, all people. Let's look at us as a nation. Therefore, the first one, demoralization comes. It takes between 15 and 20 years to demoralize our people and taking up substances just like the COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, after that, when they created the COVID-19, when it first came, they said it was going to be a shutdown. What came? The crisis. The crisis take about what? 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Do the math. Go back and see how long it took us to really deal with that crisis. And after we dealt with that, what came in? Normalization. You understand what I'm saying? And now we are adapting to that. What does it do? It destabilizes us. We are used to being taken away now and confined to a hospital. You can't even go in with a loved one to find out what's going on. Misinformation and lies.
We're going in a place with masks on where we used to have to identify
and they
ourselves.
let us know. Now they're showing us that this was already pre-done. If the people had get up and rise, but what we're getting back to is your metronomes. That's what it was. We all out of class. But guess what? We all getting ready to start walking together.
Syncing up.
All starting to walk together. And what it's going to do is it's going to cause a spontaneous combustion. And what I do, and I'm going to end with this. When I'm in a session with clients, I say, look at the balloon theory. The balloon theory is anger, frustration, humiliation. When you continue to throw that in the balloon, it busts, pop, and you flip, whatever, for the good or bad, most of the time for the bad. And you get to vent on these particular things, and guess what? They're watching.
And I want the air to be volatile, but this is what happens with the conditioning and when you're dealing with trauma and someone is disoriented, it makes us disoriented. We're not thinking with our full faculties because now we're volatile, we're angry, we're confused. We're being led around by the nose, by our root chakras and stuff, booty shaking and watching boobies and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Longing for that itch to be scratched somewhere, and then boom, they're able to sneak in through the back door. Because while we were looking over here, just reacting to all that stuff, we didn't respond intellectually. We didn't respond as a human being. We didn't respond to one another. As intellectuals and observe and see what was going on because we didn't have the information. We weren't even growing up or attuned to that. The social engineering had us like children just flying around doing whatever without the proper information. And so that's what they had us attuned to in this biodome, like the Metrodome. Just, you know what I'm saying? We were in the group just running around all over the place, and now that we're waking up, what that does is that changes everything for everybody, like you said. Take this energy, now that we know it's there. That's what changes the ball game. That is the solution, is the awareness changes everything.
What happens is when we start, you know how you see people are somewhere in the crowd, everybody talking, that right there is a metro, they're in the crowd, and everybody's going bananas. And then they say, okay, come to order, come to order, come to order, come to order. Now everybody's in silence. And everybody's breathing almost as one, taking deep breaths, waiting for the play. And then it starts off, bang, with a dunk or something, whatever. And now the stimulation, now you're stimulating. This is what's going on in life. But now it's different. We have accept masses and all this. If we are the people, so we are the government. The government is not, the people are the government, to keep it real. But if it came in 77, we was never included in that. And they let us know. So we keep searching for their stuff. This when I take something from other people, I internalize it myself, and I start dealing with that shit. It's not nice, but you
Just
deal
take
with
what
it
you need
and
and leave the
find
rest.
something funny. Like today, we're starting to actually come up and just deal with things that we really don't like. But through this right here, it opens. It's an envelope. You know what I'm saying? That's open, like a umbrella. You know, but for everything you pick one. When you have an umbrella, you're more versatile in your delivery and helping people.
That's why this is a really good abstract game as far as talk therapy is concerned. You know, a good talking game where people can open it up and talk about the various connections and the interconnectiveness, you know? And we can see, like a storyline, we can start to see how these things are playing out without being super offended and taking it extra personal. Do you know what I'm saying? It gives it different dynamics. And this was a great show. Would you like to end it?
Yeah, wake up. We, in Indian had some herb tea, had some dandelion root with burdock, to help. Did some stretching, some meditation. Woke up a little foggy, but the major knowns really is a good topic, to start your day that you frizzled, but people really be on some study. How much information we all grown. How much we gonna get, really? What are you gonna do positive today? Peace.
That actually was a piece of information that I got from one of the teachers that I like to study with online. His name is David Snyder, I think, and he deals with just check it out. So he deals with body language and facial recognition and things like that. Ways to be able to tell if people are lying and covert kind of stuff. Because in a world where people are very crafty, and a lot of people don't even know themselves, they don't even know they're lying themselves. And there's a lot of social engineering traps and mechanisms out there. And so no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and all you're getting, get understanding, and just stay safe, and stay thinking about others. Much love to you and yours. Can we end with that thing again? The Metrodome? I like the way that sounded. This is us syncing up, y'all. And we'll get it right. It's like the Most High came, like his angels came and just shook up the board, And we're all in disarray right now, but everybody's doing their own job, putting the pieces together, So he came and he moved the little pieces and pawns on the chessboard, and we're going to sync up. And it's going to be a whole other ballgame in the end. Once we get this information right. And our spirits right. In alignment with the word of the Most High. It was like giant spirits that just came and touched him, huh? It's hypnotizing when you see them line up. What? This has been Regina's Rabbit Hole, Siren Buddh Medicine.
Full of Wisdom 7. Peace, fam.
We're out.